Hello and welcome to the Endtimes TCG. I'm Dario, 36. I draw comics for a living and I'm planning to make a TCG. And this video is called Quality Matters. And I will show you a couple of things. And I think these things were made the right way. And with quality in mind, people wanted to make money, but they also put in the time and the necessary care. And we will start by looking at Diablo 1 and also the artwork I made. And I will show you also and tell you a bit of my own artwork journey. So let's start in 1996. I will take this out. You can see I was drawing always in my life. Well, okay. Then let's see. Maybe I can get it without the glare. This one I drew in, I guess, 1996 or a bit later. And I must have been, I don't know, maybe 11 or 12 years old. And this is what I was drawing. And I know always teachers and parents told me, man, Dario, can't you draw just beautiful things? And I didn't know what they mean, because like this is what I wanted to draw, and this is what got me like really pumped. And so this is what I loved. And look at this, like I'm 11 or 12 years old and it's not looking too bad. And on the other side, it's not an original CD. Those were the times where you burned CDs, but and those were the times. I got a PC, and we started playing. And then a couple of years later, I got my Max Payne, and I always drew covers for myself and for other people. I have friends and they have StarCraft 1 CDs, and they say, man, I still have your artwork because it looks so bad. And I'm always asking myself, like, what the fuck am I doing with Endtimes? Like, can I not just go for a fantasy setting? Like, it would be so easy. You have just a fantasy setting, nothing to explain, like trolls versus Xerxes monsters, like dwarves versus elves. But you will see that this is not like we will go to the core of Endtimes, and now I understand how and why I am doing this. And we have to go back to this game, Diablo 1, because Diablo 1 was made by 16 people, so the legend goes. And those 16 people, they knew what they wanted to do, and they took their vision and they made something with it. And they made a great game, and Diablo 2 was even greater. And then Diablo 3 comes around and it's a piece of shit. And I told everybody, like, Path of Exile is really cool. Like, I started playing League of Legends when it was in the beta or when it was released. And it was really fun because it was fun. People had love for the game, and they knew what they wanted. And then they changed it so many times that today it's, even in 2014, League of Legends was unrecognizable. They changed it so much that it lost its pure essence. It's like you take a good orange juice, and you put so much water in it that you're just drinking water with color. And so this matters. And I have the feeling that people, this is my where I draw, where I practice drawing. Let's go back. I want to go and draw like Arthur Adams. And if I can draw like this, like I need to study the anatomy, but this is where we're going. We're going to boobs. We're going to dinosaurs, aliens, robots, time travel, things from a different time and space, I guess. Yeah. And this is from 2000 and 5, I guess I was 20 years old, and I was dreaming of making comics and working for or in comics. And you can see I took my time to create my character. Like they told me, like, create your character. Once you know your character inside out, you know who the guy is or what it's about. And then I started drawing, and you see so many concepts, and it takes time. It takes time and effort, and you gotta practice those things till it's ironed out. And if you don't have it, like, you should only ship or sell the product you wanna buy. So this is from gamers for gamers. And there's one thing like I really, really hate, and it's when people are sold shit. Like when Diablo 3 came out and I was playing Path of Exile, and it was this free to play. You couldn't pay for power. It was only cosmetics, and that is what I really loved. And I told everybody, and everybody said, "No, man, it's crap. Path of Exile is just a piece of shit." Yeah. And then a couple of years later, when I moved on, playing the guitar and painting hot babes on pictures, yeah, they all. When I now go to Steam, I don't play very much because I'm creating stuff. They're all playing Path of Exile and other games. And when you ask them and say, "Yeah, do you remember when you told me that this game was a piece of shit?" And they don't remember. They just don't remember. They have amnesia. They just go work their normal 9 to 5 life, and then they sit and they eat up whatever they get served. And that is what I hate. And yeah, it takes time. And I have the feeling so many games are rushed these days. And look how many designs I tried for this character, and he's really coming alive. And the best thing, I didn't ever use this for anything else. Like, this guy didn't get his comic, but he still was a stepping stone in my career. Because, like, yeah, how do you say, you practice, and then once you achieve some mastery, you're just able to replicate it. I can shit this out in a second. But look, this is 10 or 15 years ago, and it has a certain quality to it. And it has a certain quality to it because love went into this, and time and care. And I didn't care about the money. I was just drawing and just putting out the best I can. And there comes something great with that. And I don't see that anymore in our world. We've lost our ways. And that is also what the Endtimes TCG is about. It is to find our ways back to quality, back to patience, back to community, back to the real things that matter in life. Like, yeah, old school values. This was the beefed up version. And yeah, some great stuff, but I don't want to bore you anymore. I want to show you the good stuff. Then I went into the sketches for the comic, but it never got anywhere, because doing a comic and creating a character is a completely different skill, completely different. And that's, I got the first part right, but the second, I couldn't, because this is a whole universe for itself, making comics. But I mastered this art, or not mastered, but I started mastering this art from 2014, and today it's much better. But what I wanted to show you is also something, and it has to do with this. Let's say, I don't want to bore you too long, but is when I started playing Magic the Gathering. This is where I started, and I will tell you in a second. Yeah, look at this. This is when I started to play Magic the Gathering in tournaments. This is like good old Arc Slugger, the best there ever was. Look at this, it's so beautiful. I first hated this card, and I hated the Meridian block, but man, this is where my career started, and not only the drawing career, but also my tournament career. And in summer 2005, I was playing Red Deck Wins on tournaments, Modern or Type 2, And then after that, I played a green beatdown with a trawler scatic. And man, at the time of life, and look, this is from 2005. This is 15, 16 years ago. Look how I was drawing. The quality was so good. I was copying the Magic card, but it doesn't look bad. Look how much love and care went into this. And this is where I started then in 2006 to play my Fireman Angel control with Sacred Foundry, Boris Garrison, all original cards from the time back then. And I was keeping track how I did, if I did good or bad. Here I went 3-1, not bad. Second place, I guess, or third place. Then I played a red deck wins. I love red, green, and this was a great deck because everybody was playing Tron, is it, back then in Type 2, and this was just two, and this was the response to that because everybody was just doing, how do you say, they were only playing powerful things, and I was playing the cheapest fucked up deck, but I pimped it up with 22 foil Mirrodin Mountains, I guess mostly marked Tedin. This was my sideboard card, Blood Moon, for the Tron, is it, threaten to get to get creatures, Umetzawa's Shide, Genji of the Spires, and this was my deck. A Frenzied Goblin, one was Russian. This is very important because people, someone who was a seasoned veteran asked me if I'm playing draft, and I said yes, I'm playing draft, and I bet him 2-1 or maybe 2-0. Scorch Rosaka. This is a one mana drop, 1 mana drop, 2 mana drop, 2 mana drop, 3 mana, and a 4 mana drop who can't be targeted, has haste and trample. And those were my spells. This was the cheapest deck I put together. My friends laughed at me, but I won 4-0 the Type 2 tournament. And yeah, this is how I did. I played versus first game 1 versus Boris Control. I remember how he tried to divert that damage I was dealing to him, but he couldn't because my Giant Solifuge was not targetable. Uwe, I hope you're alright. Mono Blue, NX Wildfire. You see, I marched through this because I was the rogue deck. And I will always play the rogue deck because this life is telling you so much bullshit lies, and you gotta be the Max Payne. You gotta be the kid who drops at 11 years the Diablo and stays the course and comes back to it. So quality and intention matters.